Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Missy. This time I'm making a layout for the Hip Kit Club, and this is my first layout using the March 2015 kits. And for this one, I started with some of the white cardstock that came in the cardstock kit, and I really liked that chipboard camera that was on the crepe paper chipboard sheet. I don't know, it just jumped out at me from the get-go, and I wanted to use that as a starting point. And so I decided to pull some colors from papers that were in it, and I really liked that teal, and I loved this polka dot paper. And for some reason, I just had banners on the brain. I don't know why. So I got out my triangle punch and just decided to punch several different patterns into triangles to make a banner. Haven't done a banner in a long time, and so I thought this would be a good time to do it. So I just put them down to see where I wanted them, and then I decided to get some color on the background with the color kit. So I pulled out the distress paint that's in the color kit. It's really pretty green color, and I'm just using some packaging there, and I just used it like I would watercolor or inks, and just dabbed some on there and added some water and started to smudge it around. And I really wasn't sure what this was going to wind up looking like. I just knew that I wanted some messiness behind my picture there. So I knew I wanted to add some pink, and this paper in the main kit is gorgeous. It's so bright. I think that's from Serendipity, from American Crafts. And I knew I wanted some pops of that pink, so I decided to back my photo with that paper. And that Hello Everyday card is from the Project Life kit. It's really, really pretty too. There's a lot of fun stuff in there. This stencil is Dilutions, and it's from the color kit. And so I pulled out a gelato because I wanted to add some pink, and I just started to color inside those circles. And I'm smudging so hard I'm shaking my desk. Look, it's vibrating. I get serious when it comes to gelatos. Anyway, I just wanted to have some random circles on there, so that's what I'm doing here. I'm just smudging, and just wanted it to look kind of random and messy. And I didn't put any gesso or anything on my cardstock. I just sort of went for it and hoped for the best. And I didn't add too much liquid, so my paper stayed pretty flat. Gotta test my photos again to see if they're gonna look right. See if there's enough pink poking out. I added another Project Life card behind the pink there to give it some more of that craft color. I really like how that's looking with the circles, but of course I have to grab my watercolors. And this is the part where I kind of wish I would have added some gesso, just because I wasn't expecting to add watercolor when I first started this. But it didn't warp too bad. I didn't really add that much. I just wanted a little bit different shade of pink in there and to add some splatters. And I like to do some dabbing, which I think I've done that on every layout that I've filmed so far. Now I'm going back to that paint, and it's thick. Not thick, but it's thicker than watercolor, and so I added some water to it, and then I'm adding some darker teal color watercolor because I wanted to darken it just a little bit. And you can see my paint tray there. I'm very lazy when it comes to cleaning it. I'm really bad about letting paint dry. I will eventually clean it, but I'm terrible about just sitting it aside. Now I really like how these splatters turned out because that paint is thick, and so it dried that exact same color. I really liked it, and it didn't soak up into my napkin when I dabbed it as good as some of the other watercolors do, but it was fine, and it still didn't take that long to dry. So now I'm just going back in and adding just a little bit more smudges of pink here and there, depending on what was covered up when I put my photo and that Project Life card down. I like to make sure just the right amount is peeking out from the top and the bottom, because I didn't want to cover up all of that green. I wanted some of that to peek out as well. So I'll get the paint back out here in a little bit and add some more smudges with that too. Here I go. This time I just use my finger. I've never really thought that green and pink really go together until you just start doing something like this, and I was very pleasantly surprised how much I liked these colors together. So I stuck down all of my banner pieces, and then I stitched them off camera there. Can't really get my sewing machine under the camera because of where it's plugged in. So I stitched it down and flipped the edges up, and now I'm just using pop dots and adhering my photo to the paper, and now I'm going to glue it down. Make sure it's just right. There goes my OCD again. And now I'm going to add some of that same color combo to the bottom. I want a little cluster down here at the bottom, so I basically start over and do the same thing that I did in the beginning with the plastic wrap, adding the distress paint and the gelato through the stencil. And there's another stencil in the color kit that's got teeny tiny circles, and I cannot wait to use that one. I'm going to give that one a try. If not on my next layout, definitely on the next one. I'm sorry if I sound kind of stuffy. I started getting stuffy today, and I feel okay. I just sound like a man. So I'm going through the embellishments that come in the main kit, and that Pink Fresh Studio die cut pack is really awesome. It's got lots of pinks, different colors, lots of gold touches. So that's what I'm doing there. That circle that says noteworthy is from there, and so is this gold circle. And I just cut it in half, played around with it, and decided to put it on both sides of my little photo cluster up there. And I cut the noteworthy in half too, that circle, and used the bottom half for the bottom of the layout. I like to make use as much as I can of embellishments like that, whether it's a frame or a circle. You know, cut it in half so you can use the second half. Especially if it's going to be covered up, you might as well cut it and use the other half. So I'm just adhering that gold circle down, and I love the gold touches. That Follow Your Dream banner sticker piece is from the Webster's Pages sticker sheet. It's also got another alphabet on there too, and I will use some of those when I get to that point. So more embellishments. These are some Pink Fresh Studio gold rub-ons. Oh, they're so pretty, and they go on very smoothly. And I decided to put that little cloud right up there at the top. You can't really see it from there, but when I hold up the paper, you can see it. There you go. And I also want to use those arrows. It's so hard not to use all of these things on one page. They're just, especially rub-ons. But I've learned that rub-ons have a shelf life. So if you let them sit in your stash for too long, they do not rub on that great. That's just been my experience. They get dry, or the air gets to them, I don't know, but they rub on real splotchy if you let them sit for too long. So now I'm using one of those, it's an embellishment in the kit. It's a specific, exclusive to the kits. There's a whole little pack of different die cuts that were exclusively made for these hip kits this month, and they're really cool, very versatile, can be used with anything, that any of the papers, any of the embellishments, they all coordinate really well together. And so I decided the top needed a couple more little circles, and I have to study it, make sure it's right. Oh, I love these little wood veneer pieces. They're from L Studio, and I'm going to use the one that says Cutie, and I decided to make it pop a little more. I was going to back it with white cardstock so you could actually read it, because sometimes they blend in and it's hard to read what they say. So I wanted to make that pop, and I decided to give it some color. So one more thing you can do with those dabbers of paint is just dab it right onto some wood, and it colored it really nicely. And I wanted to make it two-tone, so I went back and added a little bit more of that darker teal that I had mixed up earlier, and just used my finger and smudged it on there. And I really like how that turned out. Thread, that's what I'm doing there. Tangled it up, added it into the side there. I'm obsessed with doing that on every layout. I don't know where that came from. I love the way it looks. I think it's just part of my obsession with messy meets neat. I don't know. That's another one of my messy things. And it's white, so it's hard to tell, hard to see it from here, but in person you can see it a lot better. And this time I just took some of the thread and tangled it up to make a little circle. Since I have lots of circles going on, I just wanted to add it there underneath that Follow Your Dreams piece for a little more interest and texture there. I like how that turned out. Add a little bit of glue. A little bit of that glue goes a long way. I've been really, really pleased with how well it works. Adding some thread down at the bottom there. Adding one of those flare buttons. There's a couple of flare buttons in the kits, and they're so much fun to use. I think I could put flare buttons on every single layout. Another little piece. I can even read what that says from here. I think it says "You Are Loved," but I wanted to add some of the teal color to it just to give it a little bit more interest, so I just smudged some on there. Glued it down. Little puffy stickers. Oh man, I could stick these on everything too. They make fun little accents. I think I'm just using the little arrows there. This is a picture of my little darling. Well, she's 8 now, but this is probably 3 years ago, I think. We were at a local place called Bach Tower, and it's a really pretty garden. They have a little tiki hut the kids can play in, and she's always loved to play in there. So, of course, I'd take my camera. So I'm just adding some more little pieces down to the bottom. I wanted to bring in some more of that pink, so I just tore a little strip off of that pink paper and added it to the bottom. And now, oh, I love these craft thickers. They match so perfectly, and I love the tall, thin font. So I just added her name. The title's not really anything super special. Sweet Reese. I like to use their names a lot because, you know, she was just looking cute and looking sweet, so... the word sweet is coming from the Webster's pages, and I do wind up going back and tracing over it with a shiny gold metallic pen so you can see it a little bit better. And here I'm just using my T-square ruler to draw my journaling lines because I can never get them straight, so I usually just draw them in with a pencil and then go back in and write my journaling with my black Sharpie and then just freehand trace over the lines. I don't care if those are perfect, but I don't want my journaling to be too crooked. And that's pretty much going to finish it up. I think I added a little bit more stitching, but that's the final product. And you can see on the word sweet where I traced over it to make it a little more, make it stand out a little bit more. And here comes some close-ups. And if you like this, let me know. You can visit hitkitclub.net to see the March kits. And the April kits just got revealed, and they are gorgeous too. So check it out, and if you want to get your hands on some, put in your order. So thanks for joining me. See you next time.